What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How's it going? It's Dan here from Crying Noir. We are on week number 11 of the Devlog, and holy cow, what a couple of weeks it has been. For starters, I've had like a Peaky Blinders haircut. I'm culturally appropriate in 1920s Birmingham gangsters, so there's that definitely. So while I was messing around doing Vlogtober and other such YouTubelings, Josh has been really busy in the background, and he has done some exceptional work, some really good work, which is what I would like to share with you. We're in a slightly different environment today. This is the boudoir. I've had to come through here because the sun is streaming down into the living room and I can't see anything, so we're having to do it in here. Last time you saw the game, it was in a very early pre-alpha stage, where I'd literally just got a running character with some animation in place. It was running, it was jumping, and we had some ledges, some solid objects, some collision, some gravity, some friction. I'd rattled all that lot together, and then handed it off to Josh. Now, we are working, I will tell you what is happening with the overall project. You will have lots and lots of different types of worlds. So there'll be like an ice world, a industrial world, a sandstone world, a water world. Well, I don't know, everyone hates water worlds, so I don't know if we'll do that. Forest world, an Amazonian, all that kind of stuff, right? And they will all be graded in difficulty, or the level generation will be graded in difficulty, depending on how far your run they come. So if, say for instance, you do the water world first, if it comes through first, it will actually be relatively easy. However, if you do the water world like on level 8 or something, it will be a lot harder. Okay, so it will regenerate, it will be able to generate that within the random generation of the level. It will be able to pick whether or not you're playing it as an early level, so it'll be easy, or a difficult level, so it'll be hard. When you first start your run, it will randomly generate a string, and that will determine what order your levels are, how the levels will be formed, and some other key aspects, okay? And you can then take that string and then put it onto our Crying Noir website when it's up and running, and anyone else can then get that string, put it into their version of the game, and will get exactly the same level, exactly the same build. Everything will be the same as what you played. So that should spring like a kind of an organic sort of thing where people are like, oh, if you really hate the water levels because they're really hard, here's a load of builds where the water levels at the beginning. Or people will be like putting stuff up going, have you seen how crazy this fire level is in level 3? It's just absolutely mental what it's created. So that should create some really interesting kind of versions, and through our playtesting, when we get it to a much closer finished build, that should really come up with some really cool stuff that we'll be able to show to you all and then put on the website, and these were the ones that we ran through, so it should be really good. If anyone knows anything about how Spelunky works, it works in a very similar way to how that randomly generates levels. So there's always a critical path that runs through, and then there'll be offshoots and stuff like that. Josh has also been really busy doing some tile sets as well. So, and here we go. So we now have a sandstone tile set that looks kind of like, it's called the ruined tile set. So it looks like an old Egyptian kind of tomb sort of thing. And that seems to be working really well. It's still very pre-alpha. We need some parallax on the backgrounds and loads of other, so there's still loads more to do. But we actually have like a working and functioning level building script, which now just creates levels and generates them randomly. And every time you boot it up, it comes up with a different level. And you know, some of them are okay, some of them are really good, and some of them not so much. This is just a very early build of it. And it's looking, as you can tell, it's looking really quite good. But I then sort of took over and started adding some more mechanics to the game. So I added a double jump, which is something that we wanted in the game as well. And also I added a wall jump. Now the wall jump, because of the speed at which the game runs at, and the character's really fast and the gravity is really heavy, that makes the wall jump really quite tricky to do. Theoretically, you should jump onto a wall and then be able to jump off it in the opposite direction. It is in there, it did work, but it was not ideal, should I say. It doesn't work particularly well. What I have now done is I've now done some tweaks to that, so that now you don't have to pull away to do the wall jump. So you will have a double jump that you can do, and then when you hit the wall, you will then be able to then jump up the wall and kind of scrabble up the wall, which looks really quite cool. I also started working on some other tile sets as well. I've been working on kind of an industrial style tile set. I'm struggling with this quite a lot. Not that I can't do a sort of an industrial looking tile set, that's relatively easy. The problem I've got is that the way that the level generation works, and this has been done specifically, and I'll tell you why. The way that the level generation has been worked is that every single tile is grayscale. There is no colour on any of the tiles, and part of the random generation is that it then assigns colours. So theoretically later on there will be modes where you could unlock different colour modes. So you could play like with the industrial tile set to say, but everything's green and orange and stuff, and some of them it has like a system in there where it will pick kind of complementary colours that kind of match up, so that way it all looks as it should do, and we will get it so that it will just go crazy. So you'll end up with purple moss on bright green bricks with orange mortar, and just loads of really bizarre kind of trippy worlds and stuff. So that's something we're working on as well. That's going to be really quite cool. But then that means that I then have to create all of my tile sets in grayscale, and that is something I've never done before. Generally when I'm doing tile sets or when I'm doing any kind of artwork, colour and shading and all that kind of stuff is a really key thing, and you're sort of stripping a huge amount of that out for my workflow, and I'm finding that very difficult. But you know, Josh seems to think if I just draw them normally and give them to him, he can convert them to grayscale and then get them in there and it should work fine. But you know, there's lots of other work to do there. So let's address the elephant in the room. And it's a big elephant. It's a big orange shaped, badly animated elephant, and that is the player animation and the character sprite. The one that I put in was just a placeholder, just to make sure that the animation was working and that the character was moving as it should and everything was in time and all that. And so Josh decided to stick a character sprite in it. He spent a little while doing character design for the game, and this is what he's come up with. I think we can all agree that it's absolutely awesome. It's a properly wicked looking little dude. You'll notice he has no arms, obviously, and the reason for that is because there will be multiple weapons within the game, and his arms will be attached to the weapons, and obviously be in different places depending on what weapon it is you're carrying. So if you're carrying like a bazooka or an over-the-shoulder rocket launcher or something like that, then obviously his arms are going to be in a different position to if he was holding a machine gun. So that's why there's no arms. There will be at some point, although he does look exceptionally cool without arms. So you know, that's obviously something for us to think about. I think he looks absolutely amazing. I think he looks really good. I'd like to take a moment just to thank Josh for the exceptional work he has done so far on this game. He has really pulled out all the stops. He's come up with some really good stuff. I am feeling slightly like I really need to up my game and work a lot harder on this game to meet up my end, as I've said numerous times in the past, because Josh is better at coding and better at that kind of stuff. He is able to run at stuff and come up with some really cool ideas, and I feel like I'm often playing catch up. So that's not necessarily brilliant for Josh, because you know, he has me constantly kind of questioning him and running up to him, not in kind of like a why have you done that, that was a stupid idea or anything like that, but just questioning him and he's going, I don't understand, what do you mean, why is this like this, I don't get it. But it's only a good thing for you guys, the consumers, because he is constantly pushing me to improve my game and to do better, and he's coming up with some really cool stuff. And I think if I can get to the stage, you know, he's obviously very impressed with the music that I've done as well. And that's going to be in here. The music I did for Taco Dokel, that's Cry Noir, so that's going in this game as well. And I can write loads of music like that. So you know, I think obviously with us working together, this is proving really good, and we're getting some good stuff on the outcome. He's done some more tweaks to the level design as well, so it now feels slightly more open. and runs a little bit, like I say, well, just a little bit larger, shall we say, rather than like quite so confined. They feel a lot bigger. And so yeah, we've got that. There's loads of little bugs we've come across that need to be tweaked, and loads of little things that need sorting. We have a bit of a moonwalk issue where if you press both of the direction keys at the same time, he does like a weird moonwalk thing. Now, while that's not going to affect people that are using a controller, which is primarily what this is designed for, there will be some people out there that are using a keyboard, and if they do that, they will get the moonwalk and then they will not be happy. So we need to try and fix that. We have other issues where if you're running at full tilt and you come to a block, a one block gap, sometimes he runs straight across, sometimes he falls into it, so we need to do some more work onto that. And just lots and lots of general tweaking as well. As with all kind of platformers, a huge amount of work goes on in the background, getting the mechanics working, getting them real right and real good. And if you don't do that, you end up with Bubsy. When all of that is nailed down, when all of that is great, you'll start to see some more forward motion on this. But yeah, things are going really, really well. I'm really happy with everything. I assume Josh is really happy because he keeps sending me messages and keeps sending me stuff he's been working on, so he must be happy. So if he's happy, I'm happy, you guys should be happy. This is going to be chuffing awesome. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for sticking with the channel while it goes through its ups and downs. Obviously, I'm still trying to find that balance between workflow for the game, workflow for the channel, and just general life stuff, but I'm doing what I can. And yes, thank you very much for watching. Hit the rate, comment, subscribe. Oh yeah, this little dude still needs a name. He still needs a name. So if you have any suggestions, hit us up on Facebook. You can go there, like the page, just leave us a message, leave us a comment. I think he should be called something or whatever, and we will give them all a good look over and see if anyone comes up with some really good ideas, because right now we don't have anything spectacular on the board at the moment, because we've been working more towards just building the damn thing rather than naming it. So yeah, hit us up on Facebook, like the page, comment, subscribe, do all of the cool stuff that you can do. This is your power, so give us a heads up. We shall see you very soon.